Hey guys, this is a recap of The Queen's Court, episode 8, Home for the Holi-Date, okay? So, over at the Queen's Castle, the girls are talking about how tough Elimination was. We just got rid of Robert and we just got rid of Travis, and Ty was on the hot seat. So, we out here keeping an eye on Ty to see how he's gonna be, how he's gonna act, what he's gonna do. So the girls are excited to continue on with this process, especially now the remaining men they actually really do like. So over at the hot tub at the Queen's Castle, we have a scene with Puff, Mac, and Gatsby, and they're having guy chat, y'all. And I kind of like this because we don't really get to hear the guys' perspective amongst the men. We see what they think in the confessional, but amongst the men, I wonder what they got to say. And we didn't really get much of that over this whole season, so it was nice to see that. So Puff, he noticed the energy Evelyn is giving to Levon. And I'm like, honey, where you been at since episode 2? It was so clear and obvious of their connection. So he feels like, obviously, Levon is great competition. And Puff says that even Stevie Wonder can see that. So the guys overall just feel like, they should just be themselves and not, do too extra, do too much. Just be true to themselves as advice. So even though Puff feels like he's holding back, he is working with his parameters and he's not counting himself out to win over Evelyn's heart. So it's the next day, and I guess this whole episode is for the men. Oh my gosh, because I feel like, the producers, they caught some moments of the guys just chit-chatting around, and I'm like, okay, let's get into it. So the guys, they have taken over the kitchen. Their home is small, so they took over the kitchen. And we have Ty, aka Chocolate Thunder, Levon, JR, and Michael. We get to hear Ty's perspective of being invited to the Elimination dinner party because, he was shocked to even get an invite. He wasn't even ready. He felt like shocked when someone said to him, oh, you need to come to this dinner party. He felt like, not for him. So he feels like he is the man and that he is the right one for Nivea. And I'm kind of proud that he's kind of hype about it too, because I really wanted to see more from Ty with his interest towards Nivea. And JR shares what he gets from Nivea, which is she is looking for a man to distinguish himself. So what we're going to do this whole episode, we're going to see how Ty moves. But I'm actually pretty proud of him this episode because he really stepped it up. He really put the gas on this whole situation. So we get a funny moment. Levon, he goes over to Evelyn, whispering sweet nothings in her ear, and then Michael comes over and he whispers gibberish as a joke to her. And I'm like, Michael, I see you, friend. Michael sees Levon have a connection with Evelyn, but he's not going to give up. He is gonna keep trying. And we see that, I feel like I see him, but I don't feel like, it's a fit. In the confessionals, Levon sees Puff as his biggest competition, but he also sees Michael stepping up and he's trying. So all I can tell you is that Levon, he's super humble because honestly, none of these guys are his competition. He got this in the bag. He just gotta keep being how he is, and that's it. But I don't know, this can be a setup to where we see Puff come up. Well, who knows? But we know at the end that she goes with Levon. So we're here for his journey with getting to Evelyn and to the proposal. So Holly comes in and she lets everyone know that the guy's family are coming over to the castle for an early holiday Christmas shindig, okay? And Tamar is so excited. She is thrilled. She is over the moon excited. And I'm like, guys, please, Tamar is not thrilled about this situation at all. Remember previously that the women were supposed to bring over their loved ones over to meet the men, and Tamar actually says that she's not inviting anyone over because she feels like everyone views her as a little sister, and she's grown, and she's past that. And now that the roles have reversed and the guys are bringing people, Tamar, it's like completely over it. And the guys' faces are interesting because JR, his face kind of scrunched, like, ooh, he knows it's hard for Tamar. And even Gatsby, because Gatsby's like, my mother is coming. And he goes and he lets Tamar knows that. And I felt like, what a way to kind of send her even further into a spiral. But I do feel like it was a bit rude for Tamar to show that she was not really excited that these people took time out their day to come meet her, That was definitely rude. But I also kind of looked at Gatsby sideways because, especially if I was a guy that was going after Tamar, I would see that because she didn't bring anybody from her family to the situation, I too would match energy and bring not like a family, but maybe a friend that knows me, so it's a little bit more comfortable for her, because obviously she's not comfortable with families or having families involved in her relationship at this time. So, Gatsby has every right to feel how he's feeling. And it is rude for Tamar to come off how she's coming off. But, Tamar says that she will be respectful to everyone's family. And I'm like, girl, you didn't have a choice in that. There was no need to make that as a statement. So, Puff, he's inviting his god sister. Gatsby's mother's coming. Levon is inviting his best friend. Michael is inviting his sister. JR is inviting his best friend. And yes, his best friend is black. Ty is inviting his sister. And Mac is inviting his best friend. So I think it would have been safe to either bring a best friend, a sister, or a god sister. Yeah, maybe sister would be kind of hard like a mother. But I feel like taking the best friend route would have been way better. Or even like a cousin. I think a cousin wouldn't have been that bad for Tamar. So Gatsby introduced his mom to Tamar once she came in, and Tamar, she hugs her, but then she goes off to meet everyone else's family, which is it's polite. Everyone came in around the same time, so you should say hi to everybody. But then she doesn't even go to have one-on-one with Gatsby mom, or maybe there's a time that we should do this. Like there was okay, I met her, let me breathe, let me take some time and then go and tackle that situation. But instead, she goes and she's wondering where is JR, and you could see the look on Gatsby's face is like so annoyed. So we first get on one-on-one with Nivea, Ty, and his sister. So first, I have to mention Nivea. She looks so fly. She looks so good. That hat matching the top. Oh my God. I need to know if she bought those things together or those were separate purchases. Because if those were separate purchases, like sheesh. So Ty's sister is in the middle of all of this flirting. She is feeling the heat. I feel for her because no sister should be a witness to that. Okay? To this heat, to this passion, to this love. So the sister likes Nivea and she thinks Niv is a sweetheart. And I'm like, of course. Because Nivea, she made this comment that she would take care of kids even if they're not hers. And I'm like, that's a testament to her good character. She's just a sweetheart. Because we know that, Ty has a lot of kids. So she's ready to put her in that situation to receive those kids as her own, which is so sweet. We next get on one-on-one with Tamar, meeting JR's best friend of 25 years. Don't forget, we get a quick little sidebar luckily from the producers who caught the side eye from Gatsby of Tamar meeting JR's best friend. And, Tamar, she jumps right into it. The best friend wants to ask Tamar these questions about her intention, but JR was able to kind of shift the conversations for it to be Tamar asking the questions to the best friend. And JR, he actually excused himself. And so Tamar is talking to the friend. And Tamar asked the friend, why is JR single? Because he's such a nice guy. He says all the right things. So what is wrong with the man? And, the friend says that, he's focused on his work and accomplishing milestones. And we got a little quick, peek of his billboard. Shout out to JR's billboard. And, his friend says that he is ready for marriage and he is smitten with Tamar. And so then we get JR, he pops back into the scene and he comes with the biggest bouquet of flowers. And then, of course, he's going to say all the right words. And Tamar just eats it up. She eats it up. We then get a one-on-one with Levon, Evelyn, and Levon's best friend. So, the best friend describes Levon as being super laid back. And for him to be in this environment, he's very serious. And, the best friend brings up to Evelyn how she imagines her relationship with his child's mother. And Evelyn says that she's ready to be the baby mother's best girlfriend, pretty much. So I'm like, these people are serious. Because, Levon, he gets along with his baby mama, who's also his ex-wife. So Evelyn makes it very clear that she is ready to get along. She's had a history of dealing with baby mothers, 4 baby mothers, so this is nothing to her. And if anything, they always like her. So she is ready and open for a future with Levon. So we get a one-on-one with Mac and his best friend meeting Nivea. So his best friend, they met in the military, so now they're brothers pretty much. So the best friend says that Mac is looking for someone to have his back and to really be there. And, he also mentions something we didn't know. We learned that Mac's mother actually abandoned him at a young age. And Nivea, her mom abused drugs, and she can understand with Mac being raised by his grandparents. So they do have this really deep connection that, those two can really understand. It's like very rare to have that kind of a situation and to find someone you like that understands that. That's truly amazing. And, his friend says that, now is the perfect time for him to really settle down. And, Nivea, she is so sweet. She makes everyone feel so special. I feel like Nivea is talking to me and she makes me feel special. She tells Mac's friend that she's so happy that she met him. And she tells Mac how rare he is and how good of a man he is. And, Mac's best friend just feels like, y'all are just so similar. And that is something that can grow, okay? And, Mac, he talks about the warmth he feels with Nivea. And I'm like, yeah, that is truly like, this is going to be hard for her. Like, they're both good guys. But we're still watching Ty because, Ty has that great physical attraction towards Nivea. So we still got to keep an eye out for Ty, especially since he was in the Elimination last episode. So everyone's eating and they're eating gumbo. I wish we had more scenes to see the food because I feel like we didn't really get to see the food. But we then go off and we see a one-on-one with Puff, his god sister, and Evelyn. So the god sister says how Puff is a gentleman and he's very intentional. And that luckily she confirms that he is no longer a party guy and he's more a behind the scenes type of guy. And this kind of brings a reassurance that Evelyn needed to hear because she was not convinced given the age gap, especially with his lifestyle, working at the clubs, if he's ready to, not be so much of a party boy, but a person who wants to settle down. So this was the reassurance that she needed to hear, coming from a family from Puff, representing Puff. We then get to see Michael and his sister talk to Evelyn. And okay. So the sister, she doesn't really say, I feel like, I don't know how I would be. I think if I'm the sister coming on the behalf of my brother, I probably, maybe not asking a lot, but speaking, when needed to be spoken to, because this is an unusual situation, okay? So the sister says how big in honesty he was. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, can you go more deep, more clarification into that? But she was very like vague. And then Michael, he jumps in and he mentioned how he has lied and cheated on people, and he can only ask for grace. But I'm so glad Evelyn, stood up and said that she doesn't deserve getting treated like that, and she deserves better than that. And I'm like, yes. Not letting these men confuse you with honesty to being an excuse for cheating. Oh, no. So Evelyn was picking up on the vibes that the sister held back some, and she did not reveal completely on the real Michael. Honestly, Michael, he gives serial killer vibes. No, not serial killer vibes. He gives serial cheater vibes. And I'm like, good, Evelyn. I peeped that too. So, we got a cute little scene with Ty and Nivea vibing and talking about future plans. But then, as excited as I was for that, I felt bad because, Mac was feeling like the meeting with his best friend went super well, and that Ty stands in the way. There's going to be some drama with the guys. There's going to be some drama. Especially when things get deep like this. So, the next scene. Why is Tamar having a one-on-one with Ty and his sister, knowing that she hasn't even spoken to Gatsby mother? Oh no, that could not be me. That could not be me. I stand with Gatsby at this moment. And oh my God, Gatsby was looking over, and Tamar, knowing that she was in the wrong, quickly said that, she'll be over in a little bit. But oh my God, Ty had some sense. Ty said, please go. And so, girl, this was not it. Y'all, if I was Gatsby, I would take my mama out here respectfully. You're not wasting my mom's time to come meet you, and you don't give the courtesy to have a conversation with her. Instead, you want to have conversations and get to know deeply other people that's not wanting to be in a relationship with you. Make that make sense. The meeting with the mom, honestly, when they started talking, was not getting to know someone that she wants to date. It was like super polite, super generic. Like, I'm going to just be here just to be here to get through this. And I just felt like, it's just time to go. Like, I feel like you should let Gatsby go. Don't do that. Like, I did not like her in this moment. So, y'all, I was not ready after this scene for Nivea and Tyrone to have a whole massage scene. I was like, this is not After Dark, okay? This show is PG on the Peacock station, okay? On the Peacock station, not the Cock station. So they kiss, and I'm like, yes, our girl got her man. She is happy. She finally let that happen. But then jump scene to the attempt of Gatsby trying to take his girl Tamar to bed. And I'm like, this is getting a little bit too awkward, because Gatsby, he asks in front of everyone, not even asks, he demands in front of everyone if Tamar found love, to let him know to fall back, pretty much. So Tamar, she felt like she was on the spot and asked him, like, are you throwing the towel? Is that what you're saying? And I'm like, girl, you don't even want the man. Let him go. Like, you want him to let him go, but you could let him go, let him be free so he doesn't have these troubles. So Tamar proceeds to go and take JR upstairs. And I felt like, wow, that's very hurtful. But it's like they both doing stuff to hurt each other, and I didn't like this situation at all. And I don't actually feel like Gatsby was being dramatic. I feel like I disagree. Even though Evelyn and Tamar feels like Gatsby was dramatic, I do feel like he was left out of options, because at some point you gotta let him know, like, if you are truly interested in this, or are you just doing this just for show? And obviously he's not gonna be no one's show monkey. So the girls, they have girl chat. And Tamar feels Gatsby is making her uncomfortable. And she wants him to go home tonight in front of everyone. So the girls, they all went downstairs. And Tamar goes and tells him to leave right now. And the guys are just in shock. His send-off was, a bit okay. Like, he was accepting. He says that she will get tired of JR getting all the gifts that he gets her, and that she will always have a friend in Hollywood, and to make it sexy. So it was a bit confusing, his send-off, but I can understand him. I felt like he tried. Don't say that Gatsby didn't try to capture Tamar's heart. It's just that Tamar was not open to it, and that's just mind games. So the next day, Nivea and Mac are booed up. No, not Mac. It wasn't Mac. It was Ty. Nivea and Ty are booed. I felt so bad for Mac. I confused Mac with Ty. So Nivea and Ty are so booed up in a corner like high school children, okay? So we then jump scene because the producers catch every scene that Nivea and Ty are booed up. So we jump over scene to guy chat with Levon, JR, and they spoke about what happened last night. And I felt like JR spoke some truth because he says that Gatsby was tired of playing the chasing game, and that he wanted for Tamar to be real, so he is not wasting time, which makes sense. And I felt like, JR, he now sees it more as an opportunity to fail in front of Tamar, and Levon advised him just to be himself. So I'm like, yeah, JR, you can't hide behind Gatsby, because the way Gatsby was acting, anyone else will look better. But I'm glad that you understand how Gatsby was moving. I wish the guys, kind of pulled him to the side to really have him a talk. I felt like, everyone could have seen that, Tamar doesn't really like Gatsby like that. It's more of a friend entertainment vibe until it becomes too much. We then get a jump scene with Nivea and Ty off being cute, and everyone is seeing this and wonders about Mac. So Evelyn feels like Mac should show he is interested. And we get a confessional of Mac saying that relationships fail not because of physical, but because of the emotional. And he is so right. Let's give some snaps to that. So his focus is getting to know Nivea emotionally to win over her heart. I'm like, whoop, it's not over yet. It's not over yet for Nivea. These men, So we get girl chat with Holly. And, Holly's with the girls and Ronnie's with the guys, and they're both wondering where's Gatsby. So the girls and the guys, they fill them in on what happened. And Tamar pretty much says she doesn't need to be put on blast. And JR explains how Gatsby didn't understand how stressful the situation was for the queens. So it was a situation that was not ideal for either of the two. So in the elimination dinner, we have Mac, which was like, wow. I wasn't prepared for Mac to be part of this elimination, but this is good because Ty, he was woken up, so I wonder how this is gonna wake up Mac. Michael is in the elimination dinner party, and I'm not too shocked. He's one of the guys that can go, but JR in the elimination party was really thrown one in for me. And it throws one in for him too, because he doesn't understand this is the first time he's in this kind of dinner party. So Michael talks to Nivea, and Michael says how grateful he is to be here. Nivea, she compliments how good he looks, and that, she completely forgot that he was one of the first guys she went on a date with. And, Michael, he seems like he's going to take his shot, but we don't know how this is going to go. Evelyn talks to JR, and pretty much, JR says how surprised he is to be here, and so is Evelyn to be here. But Evelyn tells him that Tamar wants to know if he's here for the right reasons. And obviously us too, because JR, he's just a smooth talker. So it's like, I'm unsure whether he's here for the right reason or he's just here just to say the right things to look cute on camera. we then get a conversation between Tamar and Mac. And Tamar and Mac's conversation is different from the conversation that Tamar had with Ty. Because I feel like Tamar liked Ty more. Because obviously she went and sat with his family when the family was over for the Holi-Date. And then she also talked to him when he was in Elimination dinner party and gave him advice of what he needs to do. And she put more grit into what she was saying when she said it to him. But when she talked to Mac, I felt like she was being polite and she just, said that I'm going to give you advice and say that you're a great guy and she wants the best for Nivea, so you have to step it up if you want to be with her. So I felt like, it's just a good play for Nivea to have both these guys kind of go at it to see who likes Nivea more, or who really wants to be here more, or who's just faking, So Evelyn has a talk with Michael, and, she tells him that the infidelity struck a chord for her, and she questions how he can be faithful, and he feels like, he's ready for that now. But honestly, I feel like once you put that out there, how can a person have a different viewpoint of you, a different point of view of you? Certainly, Evelyn knows what she deserves, and she has connections with other men. So why would she give up her energy into Michael, where he has issues with infidelity? He has been unfaithful, and he hasn't been married either. So it's like the odds with him is quite low. So Evelyn sees that, and I think Michael is seeing that too. Now, with Nivea and Mac, she tells Mac that he seemed withdrawn and he pulled away from the situation ever since Tyrone stepped it up. But Mac, he asserts himself. He says that he's never pulling away from the unicorn, which makes our girl laugh, which is, a right strategy to use. And that he plans to finish strong. So he's going to put up a fight for Nivea. So this is what we want to see. Because obviously this show is all about Nivea. Because we already know the results for the other guys. So I have not even looked at social media to know what happens with Nivea. So you guys are in this moment with me. So Tamar and JR talk. And Tamar, she feels like he always have an answer for everything before she even asks the question. Okay, y'all? And he says that his heart is pure. And the thing is, it's confusing for Tamar because she wants to know why he is single. And when she asks him, why are you single? He just gives a really generic response. And honestly, I just want to know why the breakups, like what happened, what was the reason y'all broke up, why you broke up. That's what you really want to know, and he hasn't really explicitly said that. So it's time for dinner, and Nivea, she talks to Mac. She says that Mac, they have connected immediately from the first day they met, and that it has never wavered, but she does feel like it hasn't evolved since that. Especially with the connection with Ty increasing, that he has gotten too comfortable. And when she said that, I thought he was going home. Y'all, I thought it was over for Mac. We're not going to see the Mac versus Ty for Nivea. But he is safe. And I'm like shocked. He is shocked too as well. So I'm glad Mac is safe to see how this plays out with him and Ty. So Evelyn now talks to Michael, and she says to Michael that he's an amazing guy and how handsome and how nice he dressed tonight. She feels like, after meeting the sister, it brought insight to who he is, and Michael cuts her off right there. And he said that he is pulling himself out of the situation because he feels like they haven't connected, so it wouldn't be fair to proceed moving forward. So he graciously kind of bowed out. And, Evelyn, she respects that. She's like, that's good. Thank you for making that decision. It's quite big of him to do so. So Tamar, she addresses JR, and she says, I'm surprised how much feelings we got from Tamar. I'm happy to see her a little bit vulnerable. She says to JR how an amazing, great dad he is, and she could get lost in his eyes. But she does mention that's another part of her that feels like he is rehearsed. But at the end, she says that he is stuck with her. And she gets so teary-eyed. So, of course, JR is safe. He is safe for another episode. But we already knew that. But I'm glad we're seeing more of the tribulations in their journey that they have to go through. So, in the preview, we get a statement, and I'm shocked, and I want to know. So Max says that he does not like JR to JR, and now I need to know why. And not to mention, we get a scene where we see in the preview that JR says that he's in love with Tamar, and Tamar is gagged. So I cannot wait to recap the next episode. So if you like this recap, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're close to the end, and I can't wait. Oh my God, that's the one thing I will not spoil myself with, is knowing if Nivea connection comes through at the end. I don't know if any engagement, but I'm here for Nivea's journey. I am in love with our girl. So guys, stay tuned, and don't forget, share as much kindness as possible. Bye-bye.